Namaskar. You might wonder what the short, ancient, crew-cut ape men could teach us modern human beings. But actually, if we peer back into the way they lived for thousands and thousands of years, we might learn something about how to reformulate our current lifestyle today. Take for the example of food. In ancient times, when the gathering was poor or the hunting was unsuccessful, our forebears had to spend a few days not eating, fasting. Compare that to today, where we're eating so many ultra-processed foods. And these foods are causing our blood sugar to rise, our blood pressure to soar, our obesity levels to go out of control, and heart disease, the most common disease. So when our forebears could eat, they could eat whole foods, not the fake foods that make up 50% of today's modern diet. And although they sometimes in certain places there was a great diversity of food as well, and they could eat a variety of foods, hundreds of varieties of foods in certain places. But look at our diets today. We may be eating the same 20 items day after day after day. But if we have a diversified food selection, that will make our gut microbiome very versatile to help us to combat any pathogens, either internally from the metabolic activity or externally, external pathogens. You know, when people that lived in traditionally agrarian societies, when they migrate to a new country, developed countries, they quickly develop the diseases of that of that new place, because it's so different. The diet is so different from what they are used to. So then we come to exercise. You know, today we use bus, train, subway, airplane to move from place to place. Whereas our ancients, they moved with their two strong feet everywhere. And studies show that we use we spend 93% of our time indoors. 87% in buildings and 6% in our cars and vehicles. So this disconnect from nature is also one of the reasons for our health crises today. So probably the most common exercise we have ever done is walking. But we don't have to do 20 miles a day. Actually, just 30 minutes a day of getting out in the sunshine will make our mood very light and will relieve us of a lot of emotional stress. Then we come to collective living. You know, our forebears, they lived in groups or tribes, and everybody was part of the whole. It's not to say social cohesion was perfect, and there were also, of course, intertribal conflicts, but within the tribe, everybody was taken care of. Nobody felt any loneliness or isolation. The suffering of one was the suffering of all. And compare that today. When our parents or our grandparents, when they get old, we place them in nursing homes. And we're subjecting them to potentially unhappy social environments, whereas in their healthy years, they took care of us so much, because we place more value on utility value, whether the person is useful or not whether, instead of giving equal importance to as a person, as a human being. So this is another example. And then when it comes to the flora and fauna, you know, ancient peoples, part of their family were the animals. And even today in traditional certain African tribes, the villagers' wealth is measured by how many cattle, heads of cattle they have. And instead of monoculture farming, our ancestors studied herbs, and they could find out which herb was useful for which disease, because nature has arranged that for every disease, every sickness, there's a remedy in the plant kingdom nearby. So for example, the traditional Ayurvedic system, a traditional medical system of India, 5,000 years old, they've identified hundreds of herbs that can cure various types of illnesses. And not only India, the traditional medicine in China and all indigenous people, they knew which herb could help any problem with a particular organ, a particular system, a limb, or body part. And those herbs weren't subjected, those plants weren't subjected to pesticides or insecticides. So they had tremendous vital energy in them. And of course, healing properties were very great as well. So then we come to the idea of sharing. So everything in the tribe was shared. Nobody was left out. Everybody got something. And we compare that today, where the minimum necessities of food, clothing, and shelter are not guaranteed at all. So some people, they don't have these things, because our current system channelizes resources and wealth to a few at the cost of the many. But in olden times, if the leader of the kingdom or the tribe, if just one of their members died of starvation, it was considered a great stain on their character, their prestige, on their administration. So I'm not saying to turn the clock back. I don't think that the quality of life of our ancestors was better than ours. Definitely not. There's so many things that we have benefited from, and our life has become more comfortable and easy. But certainly the other side of it is our lifestyle choices today are leading to more and more health problems. So that's where we can peer back and see what we've done for thousands and thousands of years that will help us to reorient our lifestyle closer to nature, closer to kith and kin, closer to the animals and plants which we share this home with. And so as we develop ourselves through meditation, through intuitional practice, we develop our inner. We also have to have an outward approach which gives value and importance to every living being. And when everybody is given value and importance, everybody's happy, of course we'd be happy at the same time. So thank you very much. Leave your comments and any ideas that have come in this video we can share together and learn more. Thank you. Namaskar.